Select your character.
With the next mainline Sonic title on the horizon, there isn't really a better time to speculate on what features it may contain than now. For this video, we'll be delving into the possible playable characters that we may be able to enjoy besides Sonic the Hedgehog himself. It should be said that if I were to place a bet, I wouldn't expect that we'll get any extra playable characters for Sonic 2022. Based on the vast majority of Sonic releases throughout the 2010s, it is clear that Sonic alone is the top priority of the developers. This isn't a complete pipe dream though. Sega have shown greater willingness to implement numerous playable characters in Sonic Forces, which features classic Sonic, the Rookie, and Shadow as extras. In order to give us something to help structure these ideas off, I will be partially basing my decisions around the Sonic Rangers open world leaks, but in the case that they have some misleading information, I will make sure they aren't the sole determining factor in this discussion. The reason I am doing this, besides the fact that I personally do believe Sonic 22 will be some form of open world, is that if I don't, we'll be speculating in the dark with no hope of being close to the final product. Whilst there is a large cast of Sonic characters we can draw from, I'm going to try and stick to those I believe are the most realistic choices. It has been so long since many of them have been playable after all, so claiming that anyone stands a chance would be misleading. As such, we can knock off the vast majority of the roster. Even characters like Silver won't be included, as although he has somewhat of a rising fan base, from the developer's perspective he was only playable in one main Sonic game, and that was 06. I highly doubt his strongly criticised gameplay would be among Sega's first choices. Likewise, Big the Cat also doesn't stand a chance. As much as he's become a meme icon for the franchise, the only playstyles he has to draw from are fishing in Adventure or the power style from Sonic Heroes. The latter isn't a bad idea, however Sonic 2022 is likely a boost game that would still require heavy rework, and Big just doesn't seem like a good pick for such a high-speed playstyle in the first place. Tails is our first true contender towards becoming playable in Sonic 2022. Throughout the whole series, Tails has always been present in the game's narrative one way or another, helping Sonic directly or just as tech support. This makes him an easy character to slip into the new game, as he could simply accompany Sonic on yet one of his new ventures. Even if Sonic 2022 is structured in a way where Sonic would be going alone for the most part, Tails could still find a way to appear as he did in Sonic Unleashed, where Tails doesn't even appear during the beginning of the game. But that was all just to see if Tails could have a reasonably justifiable appearance. What about his gameplay? In a previous video of mine, I had actually already explained why Tails has traditionally proven hard for Sega to design in a 3D environment, so check that out if you want a more detailed explanation. In short though, if Sega allowed Tails the ability to fly, they would need to either heavily restrict it to the point where it's more of a novelty, or they would need to design levels specifically around Tails. This is because in a 3D environment, Tails can just delete Sonic level design, which Sonic Adventure 1 clearly demonstrated. Even though Sonic 2022 is likely a boost game, the same principle of adding flight breaking the level design persists. Due to how the game will likely be designed for Sonic, even if we do have other characters, making Tails playable just seems unlikely. If we consider the open world leaks, Tails is almost confirmed not to be playable, as there is no way the open world would be designed twice. This means that Tails would break any set piece or challenge, as he simply ignores most of the environment. If Tails was to be used in a boost game though, they could make his fly only available as an air boost that doesn't go higher but hovers in the air whilst it is active. This could still break some design, but it's also a lot easier to prepare for compared to a regular flight. Next up we have another classic, Knuckles. Whilst on paper he should be a pain to logically fit into whatever plot the 2022 game may have, looking back at the last 10 years, it is blatantly obvious that Sega couldn't care less about character consistency or history. In Lost World he is just chilling in a field instead of helping Sonic, and in Forces, even though Eggman rules the world, he isn't at, nor ever mentions, Angel Island and the Master Emerald. For these reasons, if Sega wanted Knuckles playable, they could just throw him in with some random excuse. As far as open worlds go, Knuckles' adventure playstyle is already a perfect fit. He's designed to be good at exploring thanks to being able to climb up surfaces and glide around, quite similar to what Link can do in Breath of the Wild. Of course, he also has his super strength that can be further used for exploration or to provide more interesting combat scenarios. If Knuckles needed to be playable in 2D style boost areas, they could allow him to dig in a fashion similar to that of the Drill Wisp in Sonic Colors. The main thing that hinders Knuckles is his top speed and viability in a boost game. Forces showed that Sega is okay with having non-boost characters playable, but if the world is based around the boost, it would make playing as Knuckles incredibly slow. Amy Rose is our next contender. Getting her to show up in the game can be done just about as easily as Knuckles, but unlike him, it's not due to negligence. Amy has a history of just showing up in her search for Sonic. Some notable examples of this are her appearances in Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, Sonic Unleashed, and Sonic 06. Although she doesn't tend to be used that way anymore, so she could just be travelling with Tails instead. Unfortunately for her though, that's just about where her positives end. Her main playstyle is from Sonic Adventure, but that is not particularly well suited to boost level design at all. For a start, it's way too slow. Even if you up the top speed, she just doesn't have the options Sonic does in the boost setting. Her gymnastic movements are great in stages designed around it, but in large open areas there would often not be a chance to use any of it. Even in the more compact areas, as I keep saying, they'll be designed for Sonic. They could have some Amy specific areas scattered around the map, but I highly doubt it, as this wouldn't fix the issue for all the other areas. Ultimately, I do not think she's very likely to be playable. Let's move on to Shadow. I will just say it, I think Shadow is the most likely character to be playable besides Sonic in the upcoming game. He was already tried out in Sonic Forces episode Shadow, and he's one of the most popular Sonic characters. Popularity would play a big role into who Sega decides to use, as they're going to want to make sure they don't waste resources developing them. Shadow already being picked for Forces goes a long way towards supporting his chances of being playable in the future. Technically, all they would have to do for Shadow gameplay is reskin Sonic. This is how he was treated in Sonic Adventure 2 and Forces. Whilst this approach works, I personally would much prefer that they give him his own unique moveset, much like how he was handled in Sonic 06. His Chaos powers are already a great way to take him, but Shadow has numerous abilities to help separate him from Sonic and add replay value to the game, which, unlike other characters, shouldn't break Sonic-based level design. But even if he is a Sonic clone, having him playable is at least something. While Shadow has proven numerous times that he works excellently when integrated into a game's narrative, Sega doesn't seem to like him being heavily involved these days. If they were to include Shadow, but still wanted to keep him on the sidelines, they could simply have him arrive by teleporting in at some point in the game. That would be a huge waste, but at least he would be playable. That is unless Shadow is used instead as an unlockable cosmetic for Sonic in a style similar to the clothing shown in Sonic Colors Ultimate. That would be the most disappointing way they could include Shadow in the game. Next up we have the Rookie. As much as the idea about this character returning bothers me, there is a chance that the Rookie from Sonic Forces could make a comeback. He already is basically Boost Sonic without the boost, and this could be rectified with a new gadget that allows him to mimic Sonic's speed or something. The Rookie could even give the developers an excuse to shove the Wisps into the game, as they could make them used by the Rookie for a more interesting open world exploration. Rocket could allow him to get high up into the sky and glide around the map. Spikes let him climb and spin dash. He could have a Wisp-on hammer to do combos with. The more I think about it, they may use the Rookie to act as numerous other playable characters, meaning we only get him, which would be terrible. Obviously though, this playstyle is based off of Whisper, as I imagine Sega would adopt her weaponry if the Rookie ever comes back. But if that was the case, then please just use Whisper herself instead. Now we have a dishonourable mention, Classic Sonic. Under no circumstances do I in any way want to see Classic Sonic roll his way into Sonic 2022. Despite my feelings though, Sega very well could believe that Classic Sonic is the only way a new game will sell and shove him into the game again. If the digital graphics from the teaser are anything to go by, Sonic might be travelling through digital dimensions or something. In such a case, you could see how they could use this to allow Sonic to meet Classic Sonic and have him intrude on the game.
That's no good.
Even for gameplay reasons, Classic Sonic just wouldn't be a great fit. I know some of you will go and bring up all the open world classic fan games, but again, this open world will be designed around the momentum-less Boost Sonic. Without having a world designed to work with Classic, he'll just be a slower Boost Sonic with less options. And that is assuming they even program his momentum-based platforming correctly, which going off of Generations and Forces, they are only ever getting worse at. Although this is about wanting more playable characters, if we got Classic again, I would not be happy. To spice things up, my next suggestion is Blaze the Cat. While she's located in the Soul Dimension, if we use the same theory about dimension crossing like we did with Classic Sonic, then it is entirely possible to do so for Blaze as well. She wouldn't even have to be a major plot point, perhaps just an event Sonic can take part in, although it would be great for her to be story relevant again. As for gameplay, she ties with Sonic for being the first character to use the boost, so much like Shadow, she could just be a Sonic clone. Again though, she has plenty of potential for her own fiery moveset. Also like Shadow, she is at risk of just being used as an unlockable cosmetic. Still, Blaze would be a great addition that doesn't require reworked level design. She could even set fields on fire in a similar manner to what is possible in Breath of the Wild. Finally, there is always the possibility that a new playable character is introduced for this game. Sega haven't done that in a while, but in interviews this game has been hyped up as the beginning of a new era for Sonic, so anything is possible. To round off, let's look at who our most likely contenders are. If Sonic 2022 does have other playable characters, the only one I really think stands a chance is Shadow the Hedgehog. The demand is there, and they can put as much or as little effort into making him work on a gameplay level as they want. After him though, I would say seeing Blaze may be possible, but more likely as a cosmetic for Sonic. Metal Sonic could also be used in this way. Everyone else has chances so low that they are basically all the same, but they may go with Tails just because he's often used in the games. If they did, I expect his gameplay would be lackluster. So, there are the results. Did these differ to who you would have expected? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. I hope you have a great day, and see you next time.